inside from Garrison, Savannah and Lonesome Glory. Settling in third position for Blythe Miller, 2 or 3 away Smith's Band in the early stages, then Tartan Tyrant, and last of all is Well Briefed on the outside, and Scotton Banks heading down the back, a long run before they reach the first. And Scotton Banks opening up a gap here of 3 lengths on Garrison Savannah, the 1991 Gold Cup winner. Lonesome Glory settles in third position. We'll have to see how he handles the first of these big Haydock fences. 18 to be jumped in this Peter Marsh as they come to the first now. Lonesome Glory a little bit extravagant at it, but got over it okay from Smith's Band, who jumped it in fourth position. And Tartan Tyrant back in the field, just pecked on landing. Coming to the second now, and the leaders all jump it okay. Back in the field, Well Briefed is last of all. But the leader is Scotton Banks by half a length. The Garrison Savannah, 3 past the Lonesome Glory. 2 away then is Smith's Band, a gap to Tartan Tyrant, who's back in the field as a clear number 3 now. And Lonesome Glory there, got right into that one. And that will just make him respect these fences a little bit more as they head down towards the fourth. Scotton Banks, the leader from Garrison Savannah. Lonesome Glory comes to this one. That was a better jump. From in fourth, Smith's Band. Further back is Well Briefed, and Tartan Tyrant whips them in. And then they're going a pretty good gallop as they head towards the first of the ditches, number 5. The leader is Scotton Banks by 2 lengths to Garrison Savannah. The leader's jumping pretty well. In third placing then is Lonesome Glory, who's getting a little bit closer now from Smith's Band. A gap in the field to Well Briefed, and further back is Tartan Tyrant, who whips them in as the leader he just grabs hold of the leader a little bit, going out of the back down, heading across the top of the course. The leader is Scotton Banks by 2 lengths to Lonesome Glory, who gets up on the inside here of Garrison Savannah. 2 away then is Smith's Band, a gap of 4 or 5 lengths then to Well Briefed as they come around the home turn the first time. And last of all is Tartan Tyrant, about 8-10 lengths off the pace. Heading up the home straight the first time, number 6, and Lonesome Glory got into that one. Hit that one pretty hard. These are big and fierce, these fences at Haydock, and they head up now towards fence number 7. He wouldn't have struck anything like this in the States, that's for sure. And Scotton Banks the leader by 2 lengths to Garrison Savannah, a half to Lonesome Glory. As they come to this plain fence now, he takes off and he jumped it okay in third. Then follows Smith's Band, a gap of 5 lengths to Well Briefed, who's out the back with Tartan Tyrant. Heading up now towards number 8, another plain fence coming up here, and the leader to it is Scotton Banks by 2 to 3 lengths to Lonesome Glory on the inside of Garrison Savannah as they jump that one well. Then they're followed then by Smith's Band, and 5 or 6 away is Well Briefed with Tartan Tyrant still the trailer as they head up towards the second of the ditches, number 9. The leader to it here is Scotton Banks by a length and a half. The Lonesome Glory, who jumped that well, measured it well. In third is Garrison Savannah, followed then by Smith's Band, a gap of 6 or 8 lengths to Well Briefed as they come to the water, the one and only time, and Tartan Tyrant whips them in. Scotton Banks steps over the water in the lead. They all got over it safely. Scotton Banks leading by 2 lengths as they're back where they started. Lonesome Glory in second placing, a length and a half to Garrison Savannah. 2 away then is Smith's Band, a gap of 4 or 5 lengths to Well Briefed, and Tartan Tyrant at the tail of the field now, about 8 lengths, maybe 10 off the leader, and Scotton Banks really trying to stretch them as they go into the back straight now in this Peter Marsh chase handicap over 3 miles, and Scotton Banks the leader by 4 lengths or so from the American chaser Lonesome Glory as they head down towards the 11th. Garrison Savannah is wider out, followed then by Smith's Band from Well Briefed. Coming towards the 11th now, and the leader over that one is Scotton Banks from Lonesome Glory in the center. Then over on the far side, Garrison Savannah. Smith's Band just in behind them, 4 or 5 lengths to Well Briefed, and still Tartan Tyrant giving this leader a fair start. And Lonesome Glory just lost ground of that one. Dropped back half a length behind Smith's Band, is going pretty well in third. Heading up now towards the middle one down the back. Scotton Banks leads to it now. He's jumping in spectacular fashion. Oh, Tartan Tyrant, a bad mistake back in the field. He's last of all anyway, but that might have put pay to his chances as they head to the second last down the back. And the leader is Scotton Banks by 3 lengths to Smith's Band. Then in third placing is Garrison Savannah. Lonesome Glory is starting to struggle. 2 away then is Well Briefed, and Tartan Tyrant whipping them in. And Scotton Banks is clearly the one to catch as they head down towards the ditch down the back. And the leader to it is Scotton Banks from Smith's Band, who sailed over that one. Then in third is Garrison Savannah, who's giving chase now. A gap then to Lonesome Glory from Well Briefed, and Tartan Tyrant, who wasn't fluent at all, is last of all. Leaving the back now, they've got 3 plain fences fences to jump in the home straight in the Peter Marsh chase, and the leader here is still Scotton Banks by 2 lengths to Smith's Band, who's now giving chase, followed by Garrison, Savannah. Lonesome Glory's dropped back into 4th now, followed then by Well Briefed, and Tartan Tyrant is struggling. Heading up the home straight though with 3 left to jump. Scotton Banks out in front from Smith's Band, the challenger on the inside. 4 or 5 lengths to Lonesome Glory, who's getting a second win from Garrison, Savannah, and further back then is Well Briefed. Heading up now towards the second last, Scotton Banks giving a great exhibition, leads by a length and a half to on the far side Smith's Band as they head now towards the second last. Saw with Scotton Banks, he put in a shorty there, he fiddled it okay though, he got over it, but Smith's Band has now taken it up on the far side. Smith's Band has now raced into the lead by 2 lengths to Scotton Banks as they head now towards the last fence. It's Smith's Band the far side from Scotton Banks the near side. Smith's Band jumped it well, lands 2 or 3 in front of Scotton Banks. A long gap to Lonesome Glory, Garrison, Savannah, and further back as Well Briefed. On the run in now, they've got 200 yards left to go. Smith's Band under the pressure, he's 2 or 3 in front. Scotton Banks is raising another effort on the near side. Smith's Band is now under the whip. Scotton Banks coming back over the top of him now. Scotton Banks on the near side, beginning to get up Scotton Banks, and Scotton Banks has pulled it out of the fire. Scotton Banks wins the Peter Marsh chase by about a neck on the line. Smith's Band in second, a long gap then to Garrison, Savannah from Lonesome Glory. They're followed by Well Briefed, and further back then is Tartan Tyrant. Well, what a thrilling finish to the Peter Marsh chase, and Scotton Banks, who was headed by Smith's Band, has come again to pull the race out of the fire with a brilliant performance. The judge has called the winner, number 2 Scotton Banks, ridden by Russ Garrity, trained by Peter Easterby and owned by Mr. I. Bray, the 15-to-8 favourite for this Peter Marsh chase. Second is number 5, which is Smith's Band, owned by Arthur Smith, trained by Jenny Pittman, ridden by Rodney Farrant. Looked all over the winner on the run-in, but then started to get very leg-weary, and it's a photo for third, and that rests between number 4, Garrison, Savannah, and number 1, Lonesome Glory. But Scotton Banks, what a performance to pull that one out of the fire. Let's watch him again.
Yes, Jim, what a great steeplechase. Here they're coming down the straight here, and this is the fence that counts, the second last, and Scotton Banks has just got in close to it, and even the horse this side there, Smith's Band, has nodded, and you would have thought from here, now the race is all over, then that Smith's Band is going to go on and win, but Scotton Banks was really game and battled back.
Yes, Smith's Band, I mean, stood off a million miles away from that last one. That's why he nodded, and it gave him the incentive there to go for it. Rodney Farrant must be thinking he's got it won. He's ridden a nice, patient race throughout. Just going to the last, the horse changed his legs there to get himself right, shortened up beautifully. I think this is a real Aintree horse. But at this stage, having been in front and with 2.5 lengths between them, if you were betting your life on it now, you'd have it on the leader.
That's right, as we see, that second last seemed to have made all the difference, but what a brave performance this horse has really battled back. Peter Easterby must be thinking about halfway up the running, he'd be sick of the sight of Smith's Band, because he was second with too good to be true with to him here. So, but Russ Garrity, all credit to him as well. He's not turning his stick over, but he's really battling, and here he's just getting back up as they go past the ditch there, and he's really galloped onto the line. I suppose you could say if